Hey, yep. Hello, everybody. So this is Vanilla from Bucker, and welcome to the second session of Ascent with Bucker. I hope most of you have attended the first session, and in case you haven't, Ascent with Bucker is kind of a 30-day program that we at Bucker do with engineering college students, or not even engineering, basically college students from all over India, kind of to acquaint them about the opportunities that Startup World has in terms of internships or in terms of starting your own entrepreneurial journey. And this is our attempt at getting you equipped for this. And you'd be working with like real world challenges that Team Bugger has been working with. Kind of, you get your experience with that, and then that's how you kind of learn in the process, and that's the way it goes. Yeah. Let me just that's kind of the about the takeaway. So guys, how many ever of you are on the call? You can see that you can post live questions, so we can be interacting, so we can see all of your questions out here, so we can be answering your questions as you go by. So begin with, this week is going to be the social media week around here, and we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with it. So let me just share my screen, and then yep, there you go. I hope you can mm, basically mm, right. So there we are. That's a little bit about Ascent with Bucker, and let's begin kick off today's session by talking about something that all of us know a little too well: social media. I'm sure all of you have been very active. I mean, be it Instagram or Snapchat or YouTube, and for that matter, Facebook. Right? All of us have been completely acquainted with what these things do. So let's try to keep Facebook as the center of it, like make it the focus of the discussion today, so that we all can understand what it is. So basically, when Facebook was founded back in or got famous back in 2003, back in 2005 actually, it did not have a newsfeed. Newsfeed was not a feature that Facebook was born with, or the creators had it when they initially launched it. It was something that was added in long after, somewhere in 2008 is when Facebook got newsfeed, and that's something that's unimaginable, right? You can't even imagine a Facebook without newsfeed. Imagine if Facebook is pretty much just a digital directory of humans without the newsfeed. You would have to go to each person's profile and check out what they posted or their pictures, and this information doesn't come to you any which way. So what people who were working with Facebook back in 2008 found was that on an average, when a person logs on to Facebook, there are about 1,500 stories that he wants to catch up with. Imagine doing that. Imagine trying to go to each and every one of your friends' page and catching up with 1,500 stories. That's not even doable. So they needed a way to make all of this content come to the user in a combined fashion. So that's when newsfeed was born. But even when all of this content is coming to you in one stream, if imagine going through 1500 posts in your news feed, all just there in random order, that is still a Herculean task. So what Facebook decided to do is that said that we have to order this with the stories with the highest relevance to the user at that particular point when he logged on to Facebook should be on the top, and as he goes down, he should only get stories that are probably of less importance. So he needed some method to rank them. Ranking is should be a to rank something, you need a real number to rank it by, right? You cannot rank by concrete features like how important it is and stuff like that. So to actually do this ranking, Facebook came up with something called as edge rank. So every post that you see in your newsfeed, for example, a person called XYZ commented on this, a person called ABC connected on like this, a person called something else posted this. So each of this posts that you're seeing in your newsfeed is called an edge, and they said we are going to rank these edges. So that way the user will be able to see the edges with the most relevance on top, and the algorithm that they use to rank the edges is called edge rank. As simple as that. I'm not going to take you into the details of it, and we're not going to get technical over here, but I just want to give you a slight dip of toe into edge rank and what it is about, just to get an idea of what it is that you can actually do to get your post, your content up higher up on other people's news feed instead of it being much lower, right? So to put it very very simply, this is what is Facebook's formula for a edge rank. U is the affinity score. To put it very simply, it's a product of four terms, right? U is the affinity score between the user who logged on and the person who is responsible for creating that edge. That is, if I'm logging on and for example my friend XYZ has commented on that post, so XYZ is responsible for that edge coming up in my newsfeed, right? So the affinity score, so not all people in our newsfeed, we have like what, 1500 people in our friend list, and hardly we would even know a couple of hundreds of them, and the other people are just there, you probably don't even know them in real life, right? So posts from them are not really important. Posts from a certain people are more important to you. So to keep that into factor, U is taken, and WT is the weight for that type of edge. For example, all comments are one type of edges. All edges that got created because of a comment are one type. All edges that got created because of likes are one type. All edges that got created because of posts are one type, right? So the weight of each one is different. For example, probably someone posting is much more important than someone just liking something, right? Then the other factor, D, is the time decay factor. So the edges which are created much more recently are of much more importance than the edges that were created much previous to that, right? So we need to have a time decay factor, right? So to account for that, they put in D, and R is the generic relevance of that of the topic of the edge to the world. So, for example, if there is an earthquake somewhere, that the topic of and there is a post regarding that, the topic of discussion of that is much more important to the people generically. For example, this is just about a Bollywood movie, or something as generic as that. It's probably not as important as an earthquake is. So we need to have a generic relevance score of the topic of discussion in into consideration. So that's why we have our I promise this is going to be the only formula I'm ever going to show you guys. So that's about it. So what we know right now is if we influence one of these factors somehow, we have a chance at getting our post a lot more visible. For example, Bucker's page has about 1500 likes, right? So what we post is not visible to everyone, every person in the every person who has liked it, because probably the relevance score is not high for them, probably the affinity score is not much higher for them. But ideally, we as the content creators want whatever post we are posting out visible in everybody's newsfeed, and the way to influence that is to make sure we influence one of these factors, right? So there is something we can do to make sure our posts are shown with a lot more importance to in other people's newsfeed. How do we do that? First thing is the first factor, you remember, we can try to increase the affinity score. How do we increase the affinity score? So first of all, you need to affinity score increases if you interact a lot more with that user. So that means if I like somebody's comment, post a lot more, I share their post a lot more, and they do that to me, so we'll have a lot more affinity score than the person I interact less with, right? So this interaction between the person who's creating the edges and the person who's consuming is what increases the affinity score. For that to happen, for somebody to like or share or comment on your edges, they should first of all like your content, or they should relate with your content. Unless that, they wouldn't be interacting with your edge, right? So the way to increase the affinity score is making the content of the edge very relevant to the audience you're creating it for, right? For example, if I'm creating something for like triple I teens or basically college students, they love discounts. So a post about discounts will get them to interact with them with students a lot more than if it's my mom, right? So make your content very relevant to the audience you are making it for. That gives you a shot at increasing the affinity score. The next thing we need to work on is gaining edge weight. Edge weight is nothing but edge weight is higher for edges that get a lot more comments, likes, and shares. Basically, they get a lot more interaction than what other edges are getting. So how do we gain edge weight? Basically, get people to interact with your liking with your edges a lot more, right? So you must have seen all this. You must have seen clickbait happening. Like, you must have seen like Priyanka Chopra's pictures, and there'll be like comments like, please like my page, please visit my page, and things like that. That is clickbait. You're just desperately trying to get people to click it. So that's just not good. And Facebook's algorithms are much more developed right now, and they identify clickbait very, very, very easily, right? So you're not supposed. So let's just make it a deal right now. We are never going to do clickbait in our life. That's just not okay. Okay, let's try to gain edge weight in a much more intelligent fashion. Right. Second thing is the time decay factor. So as your post gets older, right? So for example, something that was created 3 days back is a lot more relevant to me right now than something that was created 10 days back. So, but as time goes by, your post will get older and older. How do you beat that? See, one direct lame way is to keep posting stuff very often, and your stuff will be a lot more new. So that's why the time decay factor will be much higher, right? But that also overwhelms people. Like if they keep seeing your post regularly, it doesn't really appeal to them. So you need to find an optimal frequency at which you will be posting stuff in order to beat the time decay factor, right? So to summarize all of this, let's just call all to getting people to interact with your posts a lot more, like liking, sharing, commenting. Let's combinedly call all of this buzz, right? So this buzz is forms a key factor in Facebook's algorithm to get your posts much more visible in people. So for example, for us as humans, it probably doesn't matter that much because we probably if somebody is not seeing your selfies or your post, you just probably would feel a little bit sad. But think of it from a company's perspective, who perhaps can be doing sponsored posts. So for example, in Facebook sponsored posts, you set the audience and you're paying for every view and every click you are getting. So when you're paying for it, if your posts don't get the required amount of attention, it hurts more than just hurting your feelings. It hurts financially, right? So it's a lot more important that your posts get visibility when you're paying for it, right? So that getting higher buzz is an important thing to get a lot more visibility on social media. Right. So to take you forward, next we have Sonika, who has talked to you. So to create more buzz, there are a huge number of ways to do it. You could be writing a blog, you could be making an interesting poster, or clicking an interesting picture, and many such things, right? So next up we have Sonika to talk to you about how important content is while you're trying to increase buzz. Okay.
Hi guys. Um, okay, today I'm going to tell you about content marketing. So you must be knowing that content marketing is a segment of digital marketing. Anything that you market through a digital medium comes under digital marketing. Whether it is marketing through your phone, or if you're marketing through your telephone, or mobile marketing, internet marketing, everything comes under digital marketing. So today I'm going to tell you a little about content marketing. So content is what? Communicating through art. So it's basically communication and art put together. If you are artistic and if you know how to portray your feelings and experiences through a right way, that is content marketing, whether it be in any form. Let's just say that you're walking on a street filled with advertisements. I am sure that a lot of you must have can relate to this. Like every day when we wake up and go onto the road, we see everything, right from film posters to advertisements about cars. Everything we see on our way to the street. Why is that? Because everyone in this world is trying to sell something or the other. Even whether you're working for an MNC like Amazon or Deloitte or anything as such, everyone is selling something or the other thing. So how do you put yourself different from the others? Because if you do direct marketing, like you have to buy this because I'm selling it, it won't buy. You have to put it in such a way that you are giving an experience to the person who's buying your product. So in this slide, you can see that there are 5 people who are doing a marketing. Let's just say that they are going in a similar fashion, and there's one person who's standing out. That is what which attracts the crowd. You have to be really really different, and people have to really connect to you when you're marketing a product. There are again 2 types of marketing when it comes, either it can be a direct marketing or indirect marketing. Direct marketing is something which you directly tell your consumers that this is my product and this is what I do and this is why you have to buy. Indirect marketing is something, it's like creating a need for for your product. It's not like you're selling it directly, but you're telling the need of the product in the consumer's life, and that gets more attention. The way you the how you do indirect marketing is again your talent. So so especially when you're, let's just say, let's take an example that you are now working with Bucker, and you have to, as a part of our internship program, you will be promoting Bucker on various platforms, whether it be in your college or whether it's your own circle or anything as such. When you're actually telling someone about your product, you have to believe in it. You yourself have to be so confident, and you have to have that product knowledge uh, about the product that you're selling. Only then the other person is going to consume it, right? Like if you don't know what uh, Bucker is doing, then you really can't tell someone else. Now that you're doing an internship with Bucker, you will be knowing about Bucker. So I'm not sure how many of you have attended the previous session. So let me again tell you about Bucker. So Bucker is an app. It's available on Play Store, and probably after the end of the session, you can please download it through. It's available on Android, so please download it and see what we do. So what we do is that probably most of you who's seeing the session must be using Ola, Uber, Taxi for sure, Food Panda, Swiggy. There's so many apps, whether it's cabs or recharge or food. When it comes to recharge, you often use Paytm, MobiKwik, and different wallets. So what we do is that instead of a consumer getting confused in different platforms, we give a single platform where they can directly buy the product that they want at the cheapest price. Let's just say that there are three services again in cabs, that is Ola, Uber, and taxi for sure. So you're trying to search a cab in the middle of the night, and there is no Uber or there is no Ola, and the search price of Uber is very high. Now what do you have to do? What you tend to do is that you go through different apps uh, in hurry, and you'll be losing a lot of time. Let's probably 20 minutes, 30 minutes you'll be waiting for the cab or waiting for a cheaper cab. So what Bucker does is that one click you get the cheapest price available and available cab, so you can directly choose. Instead of wasting 20 minutes of time, you can directly go through Bucker. So this is what product is about. So again, coming back to the social media, so I was telling you that the importance of product knowledge. So yes, if you want to do content marketing or anything as such, you have to be so knowledgeable about the product that if anyone counters you on how you're doing what you're doing, is you have to able to tell why you're leading the path and what makes you different from others. So yeah, and I'm sure that a lot of people are like everyone who is seeing the session is available on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, different platforms. So let me tell you that Instagram has 100 million users, Twitter has 135 million users, and YouTube has 1 billion active users every month, and Facebook has 1.6 billion users, active users right now in 2016. So imagine you major brands, major social media brands run on content marketing. Why? If you see Facebook, what did they do? Initially, they started with content marketing. They have so much. Why do you usually log on to Facebook? Like I use a lot of Facebook, and every time I log into Facebook, I search for new blog posts and whatever pages I'm following. I tend to go into Facebook because I'm interested to know what's happening in the world, what's happening in my friend's life, and everything as such. So when these platforms have so much influence and so much content in them, the people usually tend to follow social media a lot. So, like Vanilla told you, it's very important for a product to have a social media buzz, because, like I told you, there's so many billion users available on social media. Even if you capture like 0.1% of the market, then you're doing your marketing is soaring high. So you really have to focus like right now. If I'm sure that all of you are aiming to become future marketeers because you are attending this session. This because you guys haven't attended the first session, we had a introductory session about growth hacking. So growth hacking is again, you must be seeing a lot of companies, products which spend a lot of money on marketing. Growth hacking is a technique where your resources are so less and your marketing, your results are very high. That's what every startup, every company now aims to do. So what we do for the next 3 to 4 session is to teach how you should do growth hacking, and why you should do it. And I'm not sure how many of you know this guy, but he is the CEO of Mashable. If you follow him, if you do not follow Mashable, please go follow it on Facebook. You will be seeing a lot of content in Mashable. It's again a social media blog posting this thing. So it has everything right from technology, entertainment, and different things crumpled into one thing. So every time you have to know about uh, new things in your world, and anything is a, because you I do not have to tell you, but anything that you do not know, you tend to Google it, and whatever you links that you get on the first page, you go on to it and check the information. These are all blogs that you read, and the pages that are shown on the first page is again through SEO. So getting into SEO, So there is paid marketing and unpaid marketing for any website. When it comes to a paid marketing, you have to advertise it on Facebook. How is Facebook making money? It is through different platforms or companies who are selling their advertisements on Facebook platform. So Facebook makes major of its revenue through that. Even Google has AdWords. So unpaid marketing, which you do not have to pay, is SEO. It's search engine optimization. So what you do, whatever content you're posting, if suppose, let me say, searching for I'm searching for the best available cab service in India. So there are again Ola, Uber, and Taxi for sure. And no one can tell that which one is the best. Like for a ordinary middle class person, Ola can be the best. For someone who is a bit classy and likes to travel in luxury, then Uber is the best. If someone is a student and wants to save money, then it's Taxi for sure. But when you go on to Google, the first I actually want you guys to try this out once you are done with the session. Whichever link appears first is the one which is doing major of its SEO. SEO is something where your blog or your page has used certain words so many times that it appears. Let's just say that you have searched for the best cab service in India. So suppose if Ola uses best cab service in India at certain times, in number of times compared to any other cab service, Ola appears first. So this is SEO again for you. So blog posting and these kind of content mediums make a lot of money. I don't have to tell you, YouTube is making billions of dollars. And Mashable, this guy, I think in 2012, he's not even 30 years. So he is a billionaire. I think 2012, he on his net worth was 95 million dollars just through blogging. A lot of people get attracted to content media. So yeah, it has a lot of future. And if you wish to be future marketeers, you need to have a stand on content media. What kind of content are you posting now and then? And if you're marketing about your product, then it has to be unique through content media. And okay, you've made a blog now and you have a company, you have a product or whatever it is, how to build your audience. So it can be very hard to build audience. Yeah, initially when you start a page, a lot of your friends and family can like the page that you've shared, and everyone's going to like and share the post that you've made. But how to go beyond that? First 1,000 users are very easy to get, but how to go beyond that? It is to analyze what kind of media do people like. Or let's just say, suppose I'm sure that a lot of people who are like a lot of you are either posting a blog post on your profile every day, or a picture or a video. You just try to observe for the coming days which of these mediums gets maximum likes. So let's just say, if for me it is every time I post a blog, I don't get like too many likes or shares or anything. If it's a picture, then obviously it gets. So you need to analyze what your audience is expecting from you. If it's a picture, then you have to make your picture in such a way that it attracts most of your customers. And okay, so next is a lot of people use social media to impress people, to show people what they have, what they're how they are enjoying their life. But I think a lot, you should try to impact people, not in a way that people start thinking that you are a future politician or someone who's getting into a social service or something like that. But a lot of us have some thoughts and some beliefs and something. You should be bold enough to put them on the social media. That is, like, let's a very simple fact. A lot, let's just say that you like cars. You really like cars. So I have a friend of mine who loves cars. He went to US and he started blogging about cars. Now major companies like BMW and different, he just goes to fairs and writes a blog about it on his social media. So what happens, he doesn't really earn or anything as such, but then when you continuously post something on social media about certain topic, like how he posts about cars, people start treating him like a social media expert. So every time someone buys a car, they're going to come to him and ask, what which car do I buy? Which one gives the best mileage, or which engine is the best, or something like that. So it's very important to, if you really want to get into this field of marketing, then you should stand apart from others. Social media experts are they are charging very very much when it comes to any social, like if you see any service right now, it completely, a lot of portion of its marketing depends on social media. If let's just say you like maths, there's a person A and person B who both love math. Person A doesn't really like using social media, and person B is really social, like he uses a lot of social media. If a person does not uh, use if the second person who uses a lot of Facebook and tries to educate people, he's actually impacting. He's not just interested in his own subject, but he's actually educating a lot of people. So it's very important, when you have the skill and the talent to influence people, you should use it to impact others. And so there's, like the picture shows, brand marketing and brand experience. So you must be seeing a lot of brands doing marketing and stuff like that. So in my opinion, I think brand marketing, a lot of people may not connect to it because there are so many brands right now, so many products right now in the same field. So you wouldn't really get attracted to some brand which says that, we are making a product and you have to buy it because it's the best. Like how Colgate says that, they just bring down a random doctor and says that, this Colgate has been proved the best brand of India, or something of that sort. So actually even Pepsodent does that. There is nothing special in that. I don't think a lot of people even care about seeing their ads on TV because they're so used to it. On the other hand, brand experience is something which people connect to. You should give your customers an experience that they would like to carry it forward. That is what, like, suppose if you give, okay, let's just say, take an example of Uber. When Uber launched, it had there was a conference in San Francisco. So what Uber did was, it because a major of its market is, again, people who use a software to uh, a commuting service online. So that is their target audience. So what it did, it said that we are going to take you to this conference for free. Through Uber, we're going to take you to the conference for free. So a lot of CEOs, a lot of people who are attending this conference rode Uber for free. So that is, again, brand experience. They did not market their product saying that Uber gives the best. They could easily market the product in the conference, but what they did a brand experience. Like, a person who has used Ola through that conference will obviously relate to it. They will be relating it to, saying that, we, oh yeah, Uber gave us a free ride when we were going to the conference and it was really really good. That's the experience which people carry forward. So when it comes to brand marketing and brand experience, brand experience is something which will lead the world tomorrow. And how do you create brand experience is, you can use different mediums. Like, if you're good at writing, then write about your experiences with the brand, or take a video or a photo or anything. These are the mediums that people get attracted to a lot. So yeah, like, content is fire, social media is gasoline. So if you what happens if when you mix fire and gasoline? It's like boom, it just burns. So if your content is powerful and your has a huge reach. So imagine what will happen if your content, if whatever content you're posting is really solid and so strong that it's going to attract a lot of people. So I'm ending the session. So I'm sure that a lot of people have understood the importance of content media. So if you have any doubts on this further, you can discuss with me on WhatsApp. Uh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's about what Shanika had to share. Let me just take a moment to answer some of the questions posted here. So one of the questions is you. So you mean to say that you connect up all the websites together and make it easy for the consumer? Is this what it's all about? So here's the deal. So it's not about connecting stuff, but rather assisting the user. And we do not do it on web. We only do it on mobile because when user has to skip between one app to the other app, for example, while he's booking a cab, if he has to go to Ola, Uber, and Taxi for sure, and kind of probably open a mobile browser to get coupons, it's much harder when the user has to do it on a mobile screen because the screens are much tinier, and the website is probably still handleable. So that's what we do, and it's about assisting the user. For example, as soon as we realize that the user needs a cab per se, we automatically come up. I mean, we don't even expect the user to go to Bucker to get his needs served. We automatically come up as a pop-up. The pop-up is something like our Facebook chatted pop-ups, and it will have a nice comparison across Ola, Uber, Taxi for sure about with the best option on the top, and you just have to click it and book it. Yeah. Yes, we are here. It already started, so that's about the questions we have. Is if there's anything else, please, I'll give it 2 minutes. If there's anything else you want to ask, just post out and I'll try and answer. Besides that, I hope everything that Sonika spoke to you about just before this, made sense, and uh, you guys are all geared up with that. So, coming to talk to you next is Pratik Singhi. So he's one of our interns here. So he's going to talk to you about something very, very important. So the way this is going to work over 30 days is we're going to give you missions, and and you will have to play. So it's as simple as playing a game. There are stages in each game, and um, you have to kind of clear each stage, and there will be missions in each stage, and you need to increase your score. That's kind of how it works. And where do you know what your missions are, and how do you do it? And coming up next is Pratik Singhi's talk. So there we have a question. Let me just try and the thing is, when I use something like Foodpanda coupons or something, I get redirect to Play Store to download the app. um, yeah, exactly. So it's a step-by-step solution. So coming up in the future, we would be doing in-app bookings. So I hope that answers it. Yep, exactly. To talk to you about Schoology is Pratik Singhi.
All right, hello guys. So what's coming up now is something which is going to be very interesting. It's going to be like a game, plus it's also going to be something very, very important for you to let us know that you're really shouting at the top of your voice, saying that, I really want to be one bucker hustler and get into this office as fast as you can. So we're going to have a small description of how you're going to show us or prove to us that you're really interested. So let's get started. So the first thing we do is log on or go onto this website, which is www.schoology.com. So you have it on your screens. And it's taking a little bit of time, and we're almost there. So this is what the page will look like. we require you to sign up onto this. So that's how you're going to do that. All right, I guess I was already logged in. So what I'll do is I'll come in from the private window. Right, so we sign up. It's a little bit of time. There you go. So we see three options here: instructor, student, and parent. So you're going to click on to student, and we're going to provide you one unique access code. So I will be copy pasting the code here. You can have a note of it, or we'll also send it to you either through Facebook or WhatsApp. So I'll be typing in the code, and you can see it on your screens. I hope that's visible. I'll just wait a couple of seconds for you to have a look at it. But don't worry, because we'll be sending this to you across. And so we continue on. Exactly. So here you are at your sign up page. So I'll be showing you a demo. You can do the same with your details. Plug in your email. And choose a password of your choice. Let's get something here going quickly. So we click on register, and you will be getting onto your page. So you can see on your screens you have successfully joined the course, and there's your notification of welcome to Schoology. So the first thing we require you to do here is to go to the courses tab over here and click on Ascent section 1. So Ascent is the course name which you will be signing into. And as soon as you sign up, you see one of the stages displayed here. Now there are multiple sections that you can see on your screen. I'll be running through them one by one. Starting from the top right corner. So you have your Facebook pretty much look like Facebook. So you have your messages, you have your friend requests, notifications, you have your account details going here. And coming on to the main section, this section is going to be displaying the targets, the missions, the assignments that you will be required to complete so as to, come out as those top 20 which will be walking into the Bucker office. And you can see over here, you have the tasks already put up. There'll be deadlines for each of them, which the admins will be setting up. So we expect you to get onto these tasks as quick as you can and enjoy it throughout, because it's going to be a really fun time doing them. Coming on to this left section, there are multiple tabs here. So let's get on to the second one, which is updates. So this is the purpose of this particular tab is to communicate with you people. So there'll be posts, multiple posts from all the people who have enrolled in the course, also from the admins. So if at all we have anything to share with you or an important announcement we'd like to tell you, then this is going to be coming out here. If you have any queries, doubts, or anything in your mind, anything you'd like to share, you can post it up here. You can see there are multiple ways of putting up a post. You can see there's a poll over here. There's also resources and upload links. So multiple things can be put up here, and we'll get to them as quickly as we can and get your queries cleared out. The next thing that we'll look out for is a rather important one, and we are going to call it grades. This is going to tell you about where you're standing, and this is going to be one real important thing for you. So as soon as you complete your tasks, your missions, you're gonna get the points for it. There will of course be bonuses given to you, which will not be disclosed. So the task is not as simple as you just complete it as much as required of you. If you can soar beyond the sky, then you're definitely gonna be up for some bonus points. You can see here that this, for the very first section of the course, we have a tasks tab here. So we're going on into the first task, or the first subsection of the task, the course, and you can see multiple tasks listed out here. So let's just try and click on one of these. Exactly. So here we are with the entire description of the mission, the details of the mission, the deadline of the mission, and the submit button. And you'll also see the posts and the comments relating to that particular mission just below here. And regarding this particular mission, you will also see your performance at the bottom, the top right corner. You click on that button for grades, and there you go. So we will not be disclosing the one-to-one relationship of the person with the grade, but we'll definitely be showing you the highest one, the lowest, certain standard data results, and you'll have your grade over here. So what we'll be requiring of you is to just come out on top in this graph, and the top 20 of you will have the opportunity of just wearing that Bucker t-shirt and come out as one hustler. So this is one example of a mission. And this is the button you're looking for, the submit assignment. So let's just try and click on it. Let's see what happens. So the goal could be like making a poster, or it could be like, getting certain downloads from your friends. And here you are with some important buttons. So if there are links which you want to send us to prove that you've completed your work, then you can upload them here. You can also click on the create button, which is going to let you write if you want to write some, or any interesting small lines or anything that comes to your mind relating to Bucker. There is this resources tab where you can look at your items in your home folder or something you want to upload. You can have a collection out here. So this is a small database which you can build up. You can import your files into the resources tab over here. And that is almost all that you will be needing to know. We will not be requiring the attendance tab out of this, because there is definitely no attendance to this course. You can find the members over here in this particular tab, and you can also see small Facebook like, or let's say a YouTube like comment from one of the students who has already enrolled for the course. So this is how it goes on. You can like, you can reply, you can talk to them freely. And also we do encourage you to follow a code of conduct, because there are a number of people onto this. So we definitely require you to be polite and to be patient as well. We will be on top of our toes to get to answer your questions and your queries with minimum delay as possible. And that's pretty much all we have for you regarding the Schoology task. So just get on to it really fast, be really excited. It's not something like an assignment or a midterm exam or anything. Just have fun doing them, bring out your creativity, and let us know that you're shouting that I want to be one Bucker hustler.
Let's that's about what Pratik had to say to you, and I hope you all follow that, because that's the little bit of information about the platform that we will be using to communicate your missions and your stages and your scores. So that's where you can really get competitive and see how well you are doing. So yeah, I was just checking if there are any questions to be answered. Is Are there any questions you guys have, or there's anything you want to tell us, if everything about the platform is clear up till now? Guys, are you out here? Right. Just to let you know, in case you miss any sessions further, or uh, anything that you miss further, all of these links are going to be posted on Schoology. For example, in case you happen to miss this hangout session, this will be available on YouTube, so you can listen to the whole session. Although of course we will not be able to answer your questions right then and there, we will have to get back to you if you communicate the questions to us, but don't worry, all of this is going to be live and up there. So a couple of things that we yeah, there we have a question. Chandrakaren says, do we have to send our works only after we finish them completely, or send them parts of it as we do it? You can send parts. So like Prateek showed you, there was a submit button on the side. Once you submit it, you get a resubmit button. So you can submit and also resubmit as you go by. For example, one of the tasks, the mission gold rush says you have to get 25 downloads. So you can guys, for the referral codes, just an update, the referral codes are currently posted out, the link for the referral codes is currently posted out in the description of Mission Gold Rush. So you can go check it out. And yeah, everything is posted out there. Everything you need to do, all the missions is out there. Okay, just go again. Everybody watching this, I request all of you to get onto Schoology as soon as you can, by the end of the day, if possible, so that we can get in touch with you very, very soon. Yeah, that's about the technicality. Let's talk about the fun stuff now. So one of the things that one of the type of contents that really attracts people on social media is photos. And how do we know that? So let me just tell you a small story about how we at Bucker really realized the importance of really good photos. So a couple of months ago, we did run a couple of paid social media campaigns. So there's this method called A/B testing. So wherein you put everything about the campaign same, except there will only be one point of differentiation. Now this will let you measure which one works better. For example, we put the entire audience same for both the audience, the budget, everything same for both the sponsored posts, except that in one of them we put up a poster that is a photoshopped poster, and it doesn't have real people or real pictures. In the other one, we put up a real picture, an actual HD picture. So, and the results we saw were for the actual HD picture were 3 times better than the one with the Photoshop. That told us how we as people are attracted to real life pictures and real looking pictures than Photoshop ones. It's because when somebody's scrolling past in their news feed, in general they don't stop at something unless the visual of that attracts you, right? So it's important that it's important that you give them that little bit of a reason to stop when they are passing by your edge, right? Yeah. Do we have to send our works only after we finish them? So we got that answered. Yeah, I think we have all the questions answered. Moving on. The conclusion is nothing beats a really good photograph, right? Mm. So to talk to you about how photography can be one of your biggest tools, we have Yashwant.
Good evening, everybody. Oh, well, it's past 10 anyways. Well, I'll be talking to you regarding photography today. Is the screen shared? How do I share the screen? Well, just catch a good look of me because I'll be showing you a lot of photos.
Yeah, there you are. Share screen for you.
Very well. So let's begin. Nothing beats a good photograph. Like as ma'am was just saying that, a real photograph really hits you, What's the difference between a cartoon and real photograph is that a cartoon is something that makes you laugh. Forget about whether it connects to you or not. But a real photograph, it really hits you, it's one thing that hits you and, it keeps repeating in your head, the mental image of every photograph. So what is a photograph basically? A photograph or photo is an image created by light falling on a light sensitive surface. Now, this is a Wikipedia definition. Well, you don't really need to bother about this. Well, before I go on further, I would like to say, most of you might be like, who the hell is this guy? Why the hell is he telling me about photography? Oh, well, I've been using DSLRs for the past 4 years and I have over 10,000 shots. And trust me, I am still not good at photography. I'm still trying to be good at photography. Well, basically, most of you must be, whenever you see a DSLR around, you must be hearing that clunk, clunk whenever it's pointed at you. So that clunk is basically, it opens up a hole, lets the light in, makes it fall on the sensitive surface, which is the sensor, and the photo is captured. It's pretty much simple, just like a film, this thing, but it's in the digital format. So that's what basically a DSLR is. But when you look at your normal phone cameras, they're fixed aperture cameras, they're mirrorless. Well, we don't need to go into the technicalities of all that. That's all different stuff. Now, rules for a good photograph. I'd like to show you, one second. I'd like to show you a page that I found because, even after taking these many shots, you'll never get good at it. It's always focusing on what's important. So this page, it really hit me because it perfectly, the person who wrote this page perfectly wrote what's necessary for a good photograph. So 10 top photography composition rules. Now, the first and foremost is, let me just magnify the screen a little bit. It's the rule of thirds. Now, you see, most of the time you must be wondering why, when a professional photographer is using a DSLR, he looks through the little hole rather than, putting it on live view and using the big screen. You must be like, this guy is light, this guy is blind or something. So the main reason why photographers do that is for this. It is basically the rule of thirds divides the screen into three equal parts. That is 9 rectangles. And each point is basically, these points are some of the most important. These lines give us basic guidelines as to how we want the photograph to be structured. Now, if you take a look at this very photograph, you notice that the particular lighthouse has been kept at the 2 points on the right. So he's tried to, you see, he maintained the balance. He maintained the right angle between the land and the thing by using this viewfinder grid. So this way he maintained it towards one corner and looks ambient. You see, this particular rule of thirds helps the photograph to become much more symmetrical, more beautiful, rather than just randomly kicking it towards one end or this other. So the rule of thirds is one of the very important rules that we follow when we take any photographs. Next is balancing elements. You must have heard of the balancing act. Well, a photograph is basically like, how do you say? It's not about what you're clicking, it's how you click what you want to be clicked. Now, for example, if you look at this particular photograph, you see there's a little building to the left. Now, if you cover the out, that big hoarding on your right, it looked very bland. The photographer did not think of anything. He just put the building towards one corner and he was so lazy that he couldn't walk up to the building to take a photograph of it. But instead he brought it into perspective and, he put the out image right here. Basically, it's like trying to say that, you got to get out of the building and you got to roam around and you got to see what's outside in the world. Well, that's a meaning. Meanings differ from person to person, but you see that he's balanced it properly. It's asymmetrical balance that we call in photography or in even art. The object on the right is bigger than the object on the left, but still it balances the photograph and makes it ambient. Leading lines is not much of an important thing. That's when you go into the details. Now, symmetry and patterns is a very, very, very important part of photography. Now, if you take this particular photograph and you divide it into the same rule of thirds, as I said, you notice that the door fits between the line 1 and line 2, the vertical lines 1 and 2, and then the windows come in such a way that everything is perfectly structured. Now, if I take a printout of this and I fold it, the window overlaps each other and the door also overlaps. So you can notice that, you see, because of the symmetry, there's a certain kind of beauty to this photograph. Had he done it in a different sense, it might not have hit you as much. But the symmetry is really affecting the photograph over here. Next is viewpoint. This is very important. Now, in photography, we talk about two things. The subject, the main subject is the one main thing, basically the foreground and the background. In the foreground, you have the subject, or the subject might be in the background. But what's more important is how you look at the photograph. Like, for example, if you take a look at this, the person could simply take a picture of the, sea and the sand. But instead, he chose to take a picture of the man. You can notice there's a man sitting down here. Now, that is what is called viewpoint. You see, it just says that, the world is so wide and, a person is nothing in front of the whole wide world. That's one of the meanings that this photograph is giving. See, that's a viewpoint. Had he put the camera close to this man's head and taken the picture, it would just look normal. Like, okay, the man is just simply looking at the sea. But it makes a difference because he's taken it in this way. So, when you take a photo, it's important that you take it in the right viewpoint. You see it correctly. That, you see that the photo comes out in a proper sense. Then background. Most of the times you will be taking photographs and, you might not really be noticing that whether the background is blending with the particular subject. Now, let me give an example. If there is, let us say there's Barack Obama, fully dressed in his suit and, he's all amazing with 2 security guards, and right behind him is those, dump yards full of garbage and garbage pickers everywhere. How does it match? You see, the subject is the president of the USA, and then the background is a garbage dump. How does it even match? You see, composition is very important, so that there has to be a connection between the foreground and the background. So if subject is unable to connect with the background, then the photography's composition is lost. It will just look like, it was just a half effort put into taking the photograph. Depth is again a very important part of a photograph, because you see, a photograph is basically a 2-dimensional medium. This is what gives you the 3-dimensional space into your photograph. That's what one of the most important parts. Now, if you look at this photograph, I'll show you one more photograph as to where depth really applies. But in this particular photo, you can sense that he could just take a photograph of this sheep, of this, herd over here. But instead, he covered the mountains to show that, you see, I am unable to give you the exact meaning, but there's a sense of satisfaction when you're looking at this picture. It just strikes you somewhere. Framing, again, this is what I would say you have to put in a lot of effort into. Now, many people take random photographs as to however they feel like. That really doesn't give you the essence of the photographs. If you look at this particular photo, he has balanced the right side. Now, if you cut it into half at the point where there's a house over there, if you cut it into 2 over there, you sense that the mountain on the right is balanced by the clump of trees towards the left. And then there's a center branch floating over here. Had he taken it from some other side, it would be like the mountain is occupying more than 90% of the entire photo, and the castle is like nothing. So he wants to capture the castle, and he wants to capture it in such a way that it looks nice. It looks, I have to say this, but it looks sexy. It has to really look good when you're taking the photo. So the way you look at it, see it with your eyes and capture the photo such a way that, you get what you're exactly seeing with your eyes and your heart. Cropping. Now, for example, if I'm talking about a big crowd, if I'm in a very big crowd and, I want to take a picture of a person who's talking, I can't zoom out entirely, take a picture of the whole crowd with him standing in the middle. So I have to zoom in, crop out the rest, and then I have to take a picture only of that particular person, which enhances the depth in the photograph. Again, you can see that these 2 people are hugging. I mean, these 2 toys are hugging, and in the back, you can sense the depth, that in all this, that one, the bond of love between all that. So you see, cut out all the unnecessary details to keep the viewers' attention focused on the subject. Experimentation. This is something that I cannot tell you what it is. You just have to go out and click whatever you feel is right. That's what experimentation is all about. Just do whatever you feel is right, click whatever you feel is right. And whatever hits your eye, just click it at the moment. So now going back to the presentation. The exposure triangle. If you're gonna pick up a DSLR in the future, I'd suggest you look this up. But right now, it's not very much necessary. It's basically, it explains the, we talk about three factors when you use a DSLR. One is the aperture, that is the opening, the opening of the lens, and then we talk about exposure time. How long the shutter is open, and then the light sensitivity, how much the white is emphasized in, how much the light is emphasized in your photograph. So in future, if you're planning to take up editing, or if you're doing some editing, or you're trying to pick up a DSLR, I suggest you look this up because it'll help you a lot. So now let's get to the importance of editing your pictures. Now, I have over 10,000 shots, and what's funny was I never edited a single photo. Now I started editing only like 4 weeks back, and once I started editing, you see, I felt like such an idiot. I was like, like they say, when suddenly you realize that your entire world comes collapsing at you. You've not been editing the pictures that you've been taking, which I felt so stupid, because once I edited one of my pictures, it looked so wonderful. I was like, wow, I've been cursing my camera all along. Why don't I just use this editing software? Take a look at this photograph. It's been taken in IIIT about in November during a musical fest. Now you can notice that the colors are a bit bland. The lighting was very poor that day, so I had to use a very high ISO setting, and it was a tough click. So this is the original. Now I'll move you to the edited photograph, and you'll find that there's so much difference that you'll just be amazed. Now this is the edited photograph. See the difference between the edited photograph and the original photograph. The original photograph is bland, it's dark, nothing makes sense. But the edited photograph, the colors come alive. You see, the music is bringing life into those colors. So you see, suddenly the colors come alive, and you can see the singers, you can see the audience clearly, you can see the drummer, you can see his, you can see the stick moving, you can see the stick moving. I mean, all of a sudden it's become so vibrant. You see, then I realized how dumb I had been to not start editing. Now, most of you think when I say editing, you'll be like, oh, use Adobe Photoshop. Now, Adobe Photoshop is a photo manipulation software. You can, I can cut this drummer out, and then I can do something with him and put him in, and put him in some other photograph where he's, you can do funny things with it, or you can do defaming things with it. But that is photo manipulation. When you cut up a photograph, there's no fun in, manipulating a photograph. Instead use Photoshop Lightroom if you're really looking towards editing a photograph, because that way Lightroom gives you only the basic things like changing your exposure, your ISO, reducing the noise, increasing sharpness, and the shadows, highlights, and all this. So your photo remains original, but the effect of the photo will be changed due to Lightroom. Now photography is limitless. You see, many people will like, oh, it can only be captured in that one frame. I don't believe in that. I'll show you a photograph in the next slide, which is, now this is a photograph of one of our hostels. Now, all of you might be seeing that it's this one frame, but no, this is a set of 8 photographs that I've combined. So this is photo 1, photo 2, photo 3, and photo 4, photo 5, photo 6, photo 7, and photo 8. So my camera, even at 18mm, wasn't able to capture it. So we took 8 photos and we stitched them together. And we stitched them together and to get this beautiful picture. Now you see, this is what I love about photography. It's limitless. If it was limited in the softwares that are coming out in photography these days, the image processing softwares are so wonderful. They make you do boundless things. It's just amazing the way it is. So basically, I would like to end by saying that photography is not tough, and you don't need a DSLR to do photography. Trust me, I've been doing it since 3 years, and I still suck at it. You use a phone. What matters in photography is that you get the ambient photo, you set the subject right, get your viewpoint right, and you get the meaning of the photography right. Now, I'd like to hand over back to Vanilla ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Yashwant, for that. And yep, so that's Yashwant trying to tell you about what kind of powerful things that you can do with the photograph. And photographs are not just selfies that you can post on social media. It's a tool that really allows you to tell a story, that allows you to put your opinion across with very little words. And It was his attempt at trying to show you the various number of things that you can do with your photographs to make your story much more prominent, right? And I think that's what can be one of the content of your social media. Like Sonika mentioned, don't just use social media to share stuff. Use it to make an impact. Use it as a medium to voice your opinions, and that's what matters. And it's not just to talk to friends and hang out. It's a medium that has a lot of power, and we just need to start realizing it. Let's just take a look at the questions. Yeah, Nikhil. Once you open the link on Mission Gold Rush, you can see a referral code written against your name. So please note down that code. So we already have given you view permissions on it. So I think that does the job. So next up, let me just share my screen with you again. Yep, there you are. That's about it. So the next thing you can do is you can really be visually creative. So when somebody's passing by your post, if it just has words, there's a little lesser chance that the person might stop by it and actually read what the post is, unless he really connects with it. But if it's a visual, there's a lot higher chance of the person actually connecting with what you're saying. So being visually creative gives you a lot of power to capture a lot of audience, right? So I hope most of you know who these guys are. These guys are the Minimalists, and they do an amazing job with their posters. They're very simple. They just don't use more than 3-4 colors. Lots of their posters are just done with 2 colors. Look at their logo also. It's very simple, very niche, but it tells a powerful story. Let me just show you an example of their work. Look at this. So what they're trying to show is what media highlights in general. So and look at how simple it is. They just use 3 colors: the background color, the maroon, and the white. So the news is ban on tobacco encouraged by minister, and what media actually highlights is tobacco encouraged by minister. So that's kind of the total opposite meaning of it. And with just the use of colors, they've conveyed the point totally. Let's take a look at another one. So the rumor of an explosive blast in a factory was fake. So but what media highlights is explosive blast in a factory. That's total opposite of what's true. For example, research says onions can kill harmful bacteria, but what media highlights is research says onion can kill. That means onions can kill people. So look at how simple they are. Like, we can take a look at a couple of other ones. Like, this was the one they created for when the free basics has been in the news. So they use minimal colors, minimal stuff to show it. It just says that has 3 people with blindfolds trying to march forward, but they're not realizing that they're marching off a cliff. It's so simple, but it conveys the point really quickly. Imagine trying to convey the same thing in words. You would at least have to write about 10 lines to convey it, and just by the look at it, you understand what it's all about, right? Yeah, this is something that this was the poster they released when they launched their website. And look at how simply it's done. They just made a rocket out of the A and put 3 lines under it to show the speed. It's simple, it's light, it's neat, and it's really good. Yeah, this was another poster these guys released when we had the LGBT, the gay marriage legalized in the US in order to support it. So not everything needs to be straight. So your muscles, you would prefer if they are not straight, right? For example, smiles shouldn't be straight. The heartbeat shouldn't be straight. It's as simple as that. And homophobia, it's very simple, very neat. Again, minimalistic colors. Red, black, and white are the only colors that are getting highlighted in this. So that's what minimalism is about. So try to say more with less, and that's what comes across as a lot more powerful. For example, this is one of the posters that we created for Bucker, and that to keep in mind, like we discussed in the previous session, and now making the content very relevant to the audience you are targeting is really important. So since we study in triple IT and lots of our friends are working in IT companies, so most of them code, so they understand what code is about. So all we said, as if the time taken by you for finding a cab is greater than your actual ride duration, then try Pucker. This is a simple, if statement that people use in a code, and that kind of connects to the audience we were targeting. And the colors are also very minimalistic. There's just white, the background, and two accent colors to show the time difference. Right? This is another one in the same series. If the time taken for you for placing the order is as same as the time taken for having a meal, then try Bucker. So it conveys the point very simply. It conveys why you need to try Bucker and what is the problem that Bucker is solving. So coming to talk to you about how can you go about creating really interesting, really cool, and a strong storytelling posters. We have Junaid.
Hello guys, I'm here to talk to you about posters and how important posters are, in our life, and when you are actually selling your product or something like that. So I'll be talking about that. How can posters, make a difference? How good posters make a difference, in helping out. We all of us, like many of us, must have seen that Pinterest. If anybody hasn't seen that, you guys must check out. At least the guys who love posters, you guys, at least you should just check it out. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, like, what is so special about posters? Why do we really need posters? Well, to answer that, I want to say posters are the really awesome medium to just express ourselves in such a limited amount of matter that we could possibly not be able to express in words. So now, what really makes a good poster? Now, the keywords that make a good posters are the headlines, the pictures, the images, and all that stuff. That makes a real good poster. So we should just focus on that. Focus on the matter that how do we make a good poster? We have to be sure that we don't really use a lot of colors, or we should have a right balance of all the pictures and stuff to make a really good poster, because we have to make a good poster. Only then we can market our product or service or anything like that. So well, I'll take you through some of the slides. So first of all, I'll be talking about what is the importance of color in making a good poster. You see, in this poster, we have a combination of red and black poster. So just by looking at this poster, the first feeling that you get out of it is that you automatically get just all pumped up with, this is a poster of an electro house music festival. And when we see this poster, we automatically get all pumped up with whole enthusiasm and zeal. Like, we want to go to this concert right now, right then. So that what makes a good poster. That what makes that what attracts the crowd so easily. They have they have not written a lot of bullshit out there. They just written the date, the name of the event, and where it is, and a beautiful combination of color that made a really awesome poster. So the point I'm here to make is, the color that we use, that should create energy in ourselves. That should elicit a mood, attract an eye. That should create some impression on the guy who's seeing the poster. The audience should be attracted to just look at the poster. The second thing is,
we should create compositions out of images. Just for example, in this poster, this is a poster of a Melbourne Food and Wine Festival. In this poster, what we actually see is they have made a they have used a image of the folk, and then they have used it to make the use it to make the image of wines. So they have made one image out of another image. Now, how magical is that? See, we can use it, to make really good posters. In this example also, they have not used a lot of colors. They have just used two colors. They have really not, put a lot of matter into it, or something. They have not used any good quote or something like that. Still, it has made it a really nice poster. So yeah, so the point here is you should form clever compositions to make a good poster, and that will attract an eye. The next thing is, in this example, we should experiment with typography. We should, be so creative while writing stuff. For example, in this case, they have actually used the ingredients to write all the stuff. Like in the first poster, they have written good enough to eat. Now they have used some ingredient to write all that stuff. Now how connecting is that? They are advertising for a restaurant probably, and then they have used the ingredient to convey the message. Now they have not at all gone out of context. They just remained in the context, and they delivered the poster such beautifully, just by using just by experimenting with typography. So we should focus on that. We should try experiment with typography. That will really help us a lot. The next thing is we should be to the point. That is really important. We should not just load the whole poster with a lot of gibberish and stuff. Who cares to read all that stuff? Who does? And secondly, we should make posters that connect to the audience and right kind of audience. Like for example, in the first poster, there's the only thing between you and your booze is a cab. So obviously this connects a lot of youth. And the next one is Madam Bus Karo Cab Bahar Khadi Hai. So obviously this happens to girls a lot. So the point I'm here to make is, we should, when we are making posters, we should be to the point. We should not write a lot of gibberish. We should, and the usage of the pictures, the images, the lady standing in front of the mirror and just doing her makeup and stuff. So these are the posters that make us feel connected, that make the audience feel so much connected to themselves, and then they really feel that, yeah, this is the kind of poster that I was looking for. This is the thing that I should just go on and search for it. uh, we should just try and attract the audience, not by forcing them to give, just come on, just do it. We should make such a poster that automatically attracts the audience no matter what. So the point is, just say more with less words and remove all the unnecessary details. And the next one is, this is a poster of the National Theatre in England. And the poster here is, they were actually advertising for the play, and the play was related to love, romance and stuff. So they could have really used the body of the whole woman, but they didn't do it. They just focused the image on the lips of this lady, and this automatically just creates passion and intrigue and stuff. So they didn't make use of the whole body of the lady. They just used the lips of the lady, and you notice that there's a heart forming out of the lips. So we just create a point of focus when you are making posters, and that will create a really nice poster. The next is, while you're making posters, you should create really good creative illustration that will really create a good impression on the audience. In this example, they have written shine using the filament of the bulb. So that automatically creates that automatically creates a really good message to the audience. And the audience automatically looks forward to just go out there and just see that what's out there. Just use creative illustration that will create a really good impact on the audience. So the next one is, while you're making posters, you can use layering. Like in this example, there's one layer where there's a house. The other one is where there's the moon, and there's a man standing probably. So they have used it to connect what relates to what. Like they have used the venue to connect it to the house. They have used the moon to connect when the event is going to take place. And they have used this heart to just tell that it's a Valentine's Day party. So that create a really nice poster just by making use of layering and not writing a lot of bullshit. So use layering, create depth, and that will create a really good poster. And the last one is, you should just go all out while using humor. You should just not think, you should just use humor to any extent as possible, because that will create a really good impression on the audience. People love to laugh. People, when they hear, when they look at a really good funny poster, they automatically, just that automatically makes them feel to just go out there and just check out what they are advertising for. That really creates a good impression on the audience. So we should use for poster, just be silly, have fun, just do not hesitate to use humor at all. And the next thing I want to say is uh, I want to share an experience with you guys. Like while I was studying in Kota, we used to get these posters, of many different institutions, and there we used to see those posters used to have those big, the posters of the photographs, images of these teachers. Guys, seriously, do you really think that we want to see the pictures of these guys at all? Like, we are here to study. Who cares to just having a look at the picture of this guy? And who really cares? We are here to study and stuff. So we should, while we are making posters, we should emphasize on the fact that what we want to advertise, and to what kind of audience we are advertising for. So like, we are at that time, the youth of today, I don't really think that they will really like the picture of an old man just standing and just telling, hey, come to my classes or something like that. Who cares? We don't want to look at your face or something. And the next thing is, we know that sarcasm is the language of the youth, or of today's youth. So we should use that thing to make posters. Just be sarcastic, be funny, be humorous, and that will create a really good poster. So I just want to say, posters are really important, and it can create a lot of impression, or really good impression on the audience. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yep. That was Junaid for you all, guys. So yeah, what we wanted to share with you guys, and if you missed a portion of it or all of it, the links are all going to be available on Schoology. And check it out. Take on your missions with full enthusiasm. We will be answering your questions. We'll keep in touch with you all throughout. Just get out there and go all out. So I'll catch you next time.